Okay. All right. I think we're working. Corbin, are you sitting down? Okay. Hi. For it's an evening stream. I'm checking out all the new setups that I've got in place here with the cameras. Look at this. I'm very excited. I'm broadcasting in 1080, which is a big deal. I'd like to say a big thank you to our good friend Dee Dee, who helped me get this sorted out today. So, I got the chat open. I'm working on a suggestion from the London Comic Con right now. This is today's page that I started earlier. This is usually what I do in the evening. I do a lot of sketching and in my different sketchbooks. I don't know what I can show you right now. What have I got? I've left sketchbooks upstairs. Drop the insulin on the bar. Yeah, so I've got different sketchbooks at work at any given time, and always doing sketching like this, and character workups like that, and just practicing form and whatever else comes to mind, just plugging away. But tonight I thought I would work a little bit on today's page. So today's suggestion was the moon, but it's bees. That's really it. Feel free if you're hanging out, checking out the stream tonight, feel free to chat. And if you've got one-page story suggestions, the gist of it is that's what I do here. So people suggest ideas, random ideas for a page, and I do them. And so because of that, I get all kinds of fantastically fun and crazy ideas. And today's the moon, but it's bees. So what I've done is, and that came from a young lady named Rachel Zed. I'm just going to tell you Zed for the last name. During the London Comic Con, when I had a box of ballots that for people to make their suggestions on. I'll show you. Let's see what I got. For those that might not know what we do here, this is some of the pages that I, I've done one-page stories of. Here's this is Summer Bake Sacrifice. This is where kids you sacrifice living things to the pond and you get gold. That's the suggestion for that one. This one is Frankenstein takes his driving test. I can't remember the title of this one. I'm sorry. It's written on the back, but I want to monkey around with the things right now. This is Antonio Banderas is Too Sexy. And this is a big empty spot. This is Sasquatch Civil War. This is a page. So these are all pages that I titled Music and Tacos Are Fighting Words. This one is Traveling Man. The greatest traveler in the universe. That's what this is. So this is pen and ink, or all kinds of mixed media, but primarily inks and stuff like that. So, this is a berserker. Needs a little bit of a Viking berserker needs a little bit of me time. This is actually a two-page spread about Lars and Sven. Lars. So maybe I don't feel like it. Okay, And I'm gonna move this. It's sliding all over the road here. This is a thing about dragons. 4 seasons, and I can't remember what the other one is. Sorry, just let me move this. But I painted this in acrylic for this one here, and we did the panels vertically. Always trying different formats. This is Pencil Crayon. This is PNM Artist Studios. These are the two ladies from there. If you haven't checked out their stream, please do so. They're super cool. But this is in Pencil Crayon. This is a person who makes fun of somebody else's challenges and then has to deal with them on his own. So this is a guy laughing at somebody helping his blind friend across the road, and his friend says, "Man, that's not cool." And he says, I'd rather be struck dumb than have to, hold arms with another dude. And then in the finished page, that you can see on Instagram and Facebook, lightning hits him. And he's blind. He's like, dude, you got bigger problems than that. You're smoking. This is a jam page. This is Bad Luck Bill. This Prognosticating Pig. These pages come from ideas, Oh, this is Kremlinator. This is Joshua Kimball's Planet in the Future. If you get a chance, check out Josh Kimball's channel. Josh, great guy. This is Flat Earth's Ending, as seen through a fish-eyed lens, was a suggestion for this page. And this is, again, it's posted up on Instagram and Facebook. This is a lot of fun. There's some Zipatone in here. We got ink, but the whole thing is done as though it's seen through the keyhole of a door. This is Resurrected for the Holidays. Elvis, Resurrected for the Holidays. And this character, this mad scientist character, is recurring over and over and over again at this point. He's been on, I think, 9 different pages he appears on. Here's a horizontal page. There's always a bigger fish. I think this one's called. I'm sorry, it's on the side, but there you go. Let me get ahead, and I'll just show you the one that yesterday's. Yesterday's was Griffin and a gargoyle, and so again, you can see the finished page posted on Instagram and Facebook. But this is another mixed media on a blue cardstock. You got anything else recent? A bit of everything, folks. Anyhow. So, I'm always trying different medium. And tonight we're doing the moon, but it's made of bees. So I do workups. I do mixed media stuff for my surfaces. And so this is paper from the instructions on how to assemble my desk stool. And these are tissue papers that are colored and patterned papers, and I roll up paint on with a brayer or brush it on, however it is. But I do all kinds of different surfaces this way: mixed matte medium, gesso, white gesso. And so this is another thing. There's a couple different papers that are in here in the surface, and then rolled on paint and medium. So the way I'm working it is that right now I have B. I'm introducing the elements. That's how I explain it. Is that for this page, and the idea is the moon, but it's bees. So what I'm doing for this piece is I've introduced the bee. So there's your bee, and I'll pull in on a closer camera so you can see what I'm referring to here when I say the bee. There he is. All right. So the bee is here at the flower. Bee, flower, pollinating. If you know, you know. That's a Ron Atkinson joke. Anyways, and so where's our bee? So there's the moon, as seen through a window. Just got to tighten up this lines of the windowsill here. And then this third image is a close-up on the moon, which is made of bees. And so I have to put space in now in the rest of this circular shape, this circular panel that I've got set up here. And then I got to put some more wings on some of the bees. I'll hold this up a little closer so you can see some of the detail in the bees. Okay, and I have a lot of fun doing these pages. There's all sorts of different things that can be done with the pages, but I'm always trying different mediums. I'm always trying different approaches. I want to, just keep it moving, just keep it going, so that each page is separate from the next. Let me move this camera. This is my excuse me. Which camera are you? There we go. So I'm just going to move this over and then zoom in on this crazy kid. So So you can see some of these little details and stuff coming in here. That's a good spot. So I switched up my there we go. Okay, so I switched up some of my settings and stuff like that. I was having problems with going through StreamYard, so this is me testing out that the YouTube directly from my organization system of OBS is a higher quality. It kept switching me down to a 720 bit rate, and yeah, so now we're at 1080p, which is what it's supposed to be. It's all my cameras are set in 1080p, so now we're down to it. Anyhow, Corbin is probably going to be pushing the door open. Yeah, I can hear him crying in the hallway. Just come in. My cat, I have a cat that seems to be afraid of the dark, which is weird. I think he's just scared to be alone. Anyhow, so this is just a regular old pencil, right? A Staedtler. And yeah, just sit down. Okay, for those of you that don't know, I have a studio partner. His name is Corbin. And this is him. Ready? Say hi. Hi, everybody. I like potatoes. Okay. So Corbin stays with me while I'm in my studio. He's an empathy cat. Sympathy cat? I don't know. Whatever it is, he knows I'm having good days or bad days. And he's a buddy. So, okay, so I used a brown and a blue blended in order to make the charcoal, dark, black, whatever you want to call it, sky here. I'm missing chat, and I'm sorry for that. I apologize. I wasn't paying attention. Hi, Linda. Welcome aboard. This is so great. It's nice to see you here. Hopefully, now this is what I'm aiming for tonight, Linda. Maybe you can help me out. The quality of the images should be a lot better than they were earlier today. So, I think I've got some stuff figured out. Yeah. Alright, so this is... I'm just going to go around the bee planet, the bee moon, and get set up for the night sky to go in. Then I'm going to put a piece of paper over this and this and this, and then we're going to put some oh, thank you so much, Linda. That's so nice of you. Yeah, Dee Dee spent some time with me this afternoon. And yes, Corbin. What do you need? Okay. Corbin is not sure why I'm talking to myself in the studio at night. Anyhow, Dee Dee walked through with me and helped on the other end and helped me figure out. But I ended up I'm just going straight to YouTube now from OBS, so I won't be able to use. I can't use StreamYard. I kept monkeying up my setup. So this is just a regular pencil, 2B, HB, not even a 2B actually. Okay, so while I'm working, this is what I have to contend with. I'm just going to show you something here. This is you can see him. He does everything he can to hit my arm and demand attention while I'm working, and it is aggravating. See, there we go. Corbin, ladies and gentlemen, the helper. You're on camera, bud. Everybody can see you. He doesn't care. This is what he does. All right. Dee Dee is awesome. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. She tried to help me figure out this earlier, and I followed through on the things that she was suggesting. I did those things, and it wasn't fixing it. And what it turned out to be was a programming thing. You see this? See? I'm telling on you. All right. See? Everybody knows now. Everybody knows how much of a helper you are. Okay. So, just come on. Come on, just come on. All right. You're out of luck, pal. Okay. Problem was the OBS that I've been using. There was some disconnect in my OBS that it wasn't letting me flip up to 1080. That, and unless I pay additional monies on StreamYard, it's only going to let me do 720 anyway. So, goodbye StreamYard. That's no new. And I've been paying for it too, but I got to pay for a larger package, and I'm not doing that. So, okay. All right, you done? Get settled. How many of you work in a studio like this? How many people have to work in a studio with a cat like that? Huh? That's not fair. That's not the artist's dream. Anyways. So the choosing to use graphite, kind of a different idea for filling in so many other ways I could have done it. You could have used all kinds of different media to do this guy, but for whatever reason, I decided I was doing it in pencil earlier today, and I'm standing by it. All right, I got my head's boiling. All right. Okay. So I'm putting space around the moon. Now I had considered putting a distant Earth here, and I may yet do that. But, oh, and I would also like to say that I'm extremely excited to announce that I have now hit 300 followers. And really, Jeanette, I think it's pronounced, joined the stream today. Subscribe, so that's exciting, and I'm very appreciative of everybody that's subscribed and is following this old hunk of coal. Hunk of coal, that's what Norm Macdonald called himself. I'm a big old pile of bricks. Anyways. Yeah, so really cool, really super cool, and I'm feeling good with, buddy, I gotta get the scissors. Oh, forget it, that's not happening. Alright. Corbin's now settled, which means I'm not allowed to move him. Ah, we free-handed it, it worked. So I'm just masking off those two spots, so that now I can take some white ink and get it on here. Yay, congratulations on 300. That's so cool. Hey, and Robert's joined us. Robert Vett. How you doing, sir? Is that what you appreciate about me? A Leonard Kenny reference first thing tonight. All right. So, I got it, Robert. We got to get together soon. Actually, let me do this. See, I don't want to go over the. I'm trying to mask this off as much as I can. Post-its, huh? Who knew? The guy, when he invented Post-its, I think he knew that I was going to use them for this. So this is, here's a fun story. I talked about on my stream the other day how I've been using the same toothbrush for 30 years. And I broke it the other day. So I got excited and went and got myself new toothbrushes, one for dark and one for light. And Lori came on the stream and said, Christopher, can you tell people what you've been using the toothbrush for so people don't think you've been brushing your teeth with the same toothbrush for 30 years? Oh, yeah. What? Just find a place. Go sit on your chair. Get out of here. Come on. Go, down. Climbing all over the desk. Okay, so I'm just putting some stars in with the toothbrush. I got some ink on there. and you know, does the job. Puts it on there, nice small little specks of light, you know. And then we can do a couple of little special larger dots for the larger stars in the night sky. How's that look? I think it looks okay there. I'm just going to clean off my toothbrush in case I have to brush my teeth in 30 years. Yeah, we had a nice night tonight, Lori and I hope everybody else out there has had a happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, Linda. Happy Valentine's Day, Robert Vet. And Chrissy Vet. Okay, so I've got this set up now for the stars, and then I can just come in here and do some accent. A couple little larger stars. La moon. La luna. So, the idea of this page is, so I'm going to extend the image down further so that I've got two more rows of imagery below these three panels, and then those two other horizontal panels are going to have two guys, and I'm about to start drawing those in a minute. Two guys say to each other, "You know bees, right?" The guy says, "Yes." He says, "You know the moon?" "Yeah, it's made of bees." And then I'm going to have the two guys cut to the image of the two guys. And then one guy says, "Dude, that's ridiculous. No way." He's like, "Bees, man, they're going to attack us at any day. You could just feel it." And I'm going to have a little bee fly by the bottom panel. So that's the exciting direction of this page. Robert, if you're still here, I have something I have to bring over to you. We'll get it sorted out. So this is just putting a little tracer line on the outside of these panels. And just to make them more clear to see. So what I'm working on is it feels kind of like a construction paper. I don't know what the brand is, or because it's just a big pile of paper I received from somebody some time ago. But it's got a nice texture in the surface of it, and then when I rolled over it with a brayer that had acrylic paint spotted on there, and it spread that out, so there's a little bit of a toothy texture in certain spots. Toothy texture. Toothy texture. Okay, so I'm just going to finish putting this white line. I'm debating on putting the earth in the distance. Yeah, I think I should, because then contextually the idea is that when we go to the two fellows that are talking about, you know, the moon's made of bees, and they could attack us any minute, we've already established identifiably the proximity of, well, not just from looking out a window to see the moon, but there's the earth, there's the moon. The idea that it's larger maybe even implies a larger threat, so who knows? We'll see. Okay. Oh, it's serious business. He's rolling up his sleeves. Alright, what am I stuck on? Nothing. All right. So I'll put the earth in here as well, and then we'll get cracking with that next panel. These two bozos. Actually, I think we should finish the B moon. Put some more wings on these guys here, and you know, make everybody happy. So I'm just putting in some of the land masses of the earth, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this white, and immediately after I put it down, I'm going to diffuse it with my fingertip and soften its edges. It also dulls the color, right? But that's okay. We're okay with that, aren't we? We sure are, Chris. Okay. So there's our basic shape of our earth. And I come in with this a light blue. Do I have one? Hey, I do. Go team, go. So get some of that. Good. All right, and then I'm gonna put. It's basic. It's pretty basic, but it's. You get the idea. It's the earth. You know, the earth. Do you get it? Because we're on the earth. Okay. I know we'll get back in there. Let's paint up some bees in a minute. That's the bees nest we're going to get done to in a moment. So I'm just going to do some cloud patterns around the planet here. And should generally be enough information for people to get, hey, that's Earth, right? Right. Okay. So, I got a couple ideas in here. So far, all I've used for the moon is the V moon. These four mark making tools here, and I just want to deepen up the shadow side of the moon here. Let's push it back a little bit with some of this lead here. Just emphasize areas. There we go. Looks kind of like the moon if you squint hard enough. Alright, so yeah, so feeling great, good. Not great. Anyhow, let's add a little more juice. Oh, I got some brown in here too. You know, there's a base brown in there. The reason I put that in is that I want to do a little bit of a honeycomb pattern throughout the surfacing of the moon, so that, you know, there's, I don't know why, there's a sense of logic to it, that the bees are all over. It's a giant hive. We're all done for, man. Game over. So the idea I had earlier was to bend the lines and the forms of the bees towards the sides here, just to sort of suggest a bending or a moving over of the the sphere, right? Just to give it a little more shape. Let's see if we can get a little bit tighter here on the hive. Where's the other camera better? No, this one's better. Okay, so we're gonna zoom right in. My goodness. Wrong way. Technology's hard. All right. So I'm putting in this little honeycomb pattern in the brown areas to imply that there's this lattice work, this honeycomb hive underneath the bees is suggesting that there's far more of them. Oh boy, Yogi. Sometimes it's fun to find character, like real strange character, in order to convey our story through their perspective, I find. Because that way, well, for one thing, by keeping it, examples of situations and stuff is to be perceived through the eyes of a goofy person, it makes it easier for generally everybody to sort of identify and understand. Bees, right? Yeah, everybody knows bees. So it's not suggesting less than of the audience. It's just making it more available to potential everybody out there. Because I've had people that don't really care so much about what the pages and stuff. Those oh, that one was funny, and there'll be a page that has a really sort of different approach to the narration, to be pretty basic people. Oh, you know cheese? Yeah, I love cheese. So I like that cheese page. Cool. I appreciate and respect and love you for it. I like silly boy humor as much as the next person. The person said, but. Maybe this is the new thing to do. I mean, what's his like the one guy has Ringworld and Tolkien has Middle Earth, and maybe Bee Moon. Maybe I should have a whole bunch of different stories take place on the moon made of bees. So I'm just putting little orange pops of color to give a little bit of extra shape to some of the form that's in here. I've got a dirty hand already from all of the lead. So the idea isn't that every bee is clear, distinct, and easily legible. The idea we're going for here is storytelling. And in the going for storytelling, I'm more interested in the conveyance of the idea. You get it? Let's move on. Right? I don't... it's not as, so much that I want people to linger and go, that is the coolest bee I've ever seen. Not really what I'm going for. I just want to tell the structure of this story as best I can, and then move forward, move into the next direction of the story in general. But drawing these wings in is hopefully going to fill in enough information for people to get, oh, those are all bees. I don't want to go visit that place, so Give me a second here. Learn how to adjust something else. Color. Let's tone it down just a tiny bit. Just so that it's a little easier to see. Give me a sec, folks. There we go. So hopefully that's going to make it a little easier to see what's going on. Okay. All right, so I've got light going to help? No, it's going to wash it right out. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'll just finish a little bit more of these bees here. We get these in. Part. So I put this off the center purposely so that so it's a little more interesting, you know. Let's finish that bee. I don't know why I left that spot empty. I do the entire image. I guess I didn't finish coloring down there. Of the page. I cover, you know, all of the areas. There's no part of me that doesn't draw certain spots, because when I'm doing the text for the panels, the pages, if I opt to change where I chose for the panel to be, or the text balloon to be, I can do that readily because I've drawn the entirety of the image. So it's just a case of moving it over to the other spot within the confines of said image. Okay, so we've got the moon, we've got the bee, we got the moon of bees. So now I'm going to find the shape, the size that I want for the next panel. And so I think I'm going to put it across here. Let me get my silly head off of here for a second. All right, so I'm going to have this panel fall beneath the circle, the bottom circle panel, just to add a little bit of interesting shape to the page. Yeah, I think we're just gonna ish. Wah, wah. So here's what I mean by the overlay. Show you 2 shades of a lamb's tail. That joke is bad. Anyways. So I'm just going right to the, what's the spacing on that? I think it's 5. Yep. So I'm going to put the other side equal. There we go. So this is the size of the next panel. It's a horizontally laid in panel, and I'm going to draw the 2 characters here. Now while I'm doing that, I might as well put in place the spacing for where the next panel below is going to pick up. And then I'll decide the width on that in a minute, because we want to shake it up a little bit and make it interesting. So, you know, but in the meantime, you know, let's draw these 2 goobers. I haven't really picked out how I want them to be. You know what I mean? Like how the way I want them to behave, or the way I want them to look. So I think that I'll just, you know, go for it, I guess. I'll just pick out whatever idea comes to mind and draw them in. So with areas like this, with the patterns like this, you can see how I left that still visible within this panel, you know. And I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to leave that coming through to some extent. So just want to check, just making sure I'm not missing anything or anybody. Thanks everybody that's been stopping in and saying, hey, right? Very nice of you. Okay, so I think I'll start from a shot looking over one shoulder, so this person's talking, and then his friend who's distracted is saying, you know, whatever. Okay, I've missed a ton of stuff. It just appeared on my chat, and I'm so sorry, folks. I don't know why it wasn't showing me, but it didn't. Okay, let me catch up. I'm a Patreon, a subscriber. No call, you don't write. I'm sorry. I can testify his breath is always minty fresh. It's Mickey Mouse shaped battle station. There we go. Pleasant surprise this evening. Thank you, Paul, for joining in as well. Great Christopher Walken impression. Did you hear that earlier? I did that earlier today. I'm in icy London, icy France. I heard the other day the moon is made of cheese. It makes as much sense as the Earth being flat. And honestly, I prefer it as a conspiracy. They'd be crazy. It would be crazy, but sure cheese by now. Good night, Paul. Have a great night. Cheese. Jen Wren, how you doing? Welcome aboard. Hi, everybody, she says. Happy Valentine's, Robert says to everybody. So does Jen. Chris, what is the name of the palette that you use? Oh, I think you're referring to... Let me grab that and I'll show you. This is on a watercolor palette that I have here on a piece of thick plastic, thick fiberglass, and I like it that it's a clear surface as I'm working on it, because then I can see what I'm doing, you know, and move this where I want it to be, and maybe use the edge to flick some paint off of. But this is based on what's called a Zorn palette, and so I use a Prussian blue, a sienna, right? This is a vermilion. It's like an orangey red, and this is a yellow ochre right here. Those are the 4 values, and then a white and a black. Now I also have a lighter yellow in here that I put down initially, and I'm not liking this yellow, and I put the ochre down. So vermilion, yellow ochre, sienna, and Prussian blue. Navy blue also works, you know, dark blue, you know, but it's a Zorn palette. Okay, there we go. I don't think he intends to either. I just can't live with him, can't outdraw them. How you doing, Gary? Welcome aboard. I think my feed is finally coming through now. It's the only positive affirmation I get. Zorn. Yeah. So you can use, when I'm drawing with pencils, pencil crayons, like the new pencil crayons that I just went and picked up, I buy basic, a really basic palette of them. I'll buy the, here, I'll show you. This is the Faber-Castell pencil crayons. I like them because they're very pretty. Anyways, this has got a nice charcoal gray on it. Anyways, it doesn't, okay. So I buy the basic red, basic blue, basic yellow, white, and black, and I have to blend all my own colors that way. But it allows me to really get a stronger grasp on the color as opposed to using pre-supplied color, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that's how I like to go with drawing with pencil crayons. And you know, you can get some rich values out of that way, but you have to apply it very, very lightly. So for this, so far all we've used is I'll show you the total range of colors that I've applied here. I think this is it. Yeah. So this is all the colors that I've used so far on this composition. Oh, I used that. So this is a dark brown, by the way. So these are the paint markers that I've used. It's a really sort of a mild spread of value, and a single Posca of blue. So it's and then of course the graphite, the HB pencil. So so we're going to continue on in this regard. Now I don't know if I'll shake up some values on it or not. I don't know, but that's the gist of it. So, but I tend to, when I'm painting, I'll show you the Zorn palette. Give me a sec. This is a study that I did recently. I've shown this recently. This is a study I did of Caravaggio, and let me adjust the light on this. Un momento, s'il vous plaît. So I'm going to adjust the color here so that it picks up the range, but the Zorn palette, being as basic as it is, you can see the different earth tones and yellows and things that start coming through. There we go. So this is, it'll take a second, give it a sec here. So this is the sort of range of values that you can get from that palette. It allows you to pull up a whole bunch of different earth tones, and it's a really basic amount of paint that's used for that. So you wouldn't think you'd get some of those rich colors in there, but like the different browns and stuff, but you really can through that. And this is what a lot of masters, this is reminiscent of their palettes. I mean, a lot of the fantastic paintings that we see in history, maybe a dozen colors, right? It's all about application. Leonardo was known to do really light, subtle glazing for his values in his painting, and in restoration they have discovered that he's had somewhere in the area of 35 light glazes of paint to make up tones in his pieces. So that's far more investment than I'm going to put in on things. So I'm just going to put this back up, and I'll change the color back down again. I don't want to make you all just go goo-goo with the color. So cut that down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Look at that. I'm learning, folks. I'm learning. Okay, so you can see our bees better. So who is Zorn? Zorn was just this guy who blocked this palette out. Zorn is just this guy who said these are the primary colors that you can see in a lot of paintings from different masters, and said I'm going to reduce my palette down to these few pigments. It's a really the reason that I started using that palette is because ready? Boo. The reason I started using that palette is because economics. If you've only got X amount of economics by buying these limited amounts of these limited tubes of paint, and paint can be very expensive. You can buy a watercolor set, sure, and you get all kinds of color in it, but when you're having to buy acrylics and oils to do large pieces, So I started buying I started utilizing a limited palette because I was buying less diverse values in paint, and it was forcing me to learn and grow in how to do color. So this man smoked a pipe. I wish I smoked a pipe. I'm too healthy conscious, but I wish I was cool enough. Here, David, I'll make it up for you. I'm sorry, Robert. I'll make it up for you. I got my pipe here. All right, so. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that helps the wallet, sure. It sure does. So, what say we get to work? I need a drink. So there's a whole bunch of different reasons that we to utilize different tools and different effects in order to, to make your work more interesting or build up more value in the way that you're approaching, your pieces. If you can figure out different applications that other people kind of look at and go, well, how did that come about? Then, there's something nice to that. There's something nice to know that you can't easily be replicated by artificial intelligence. So, you just got to try different stuff. So here's a little bit of a close-up so you can see some of the details in the bee and the moon and the bee moon. Okay, with a little earth in the background. So let's get down to it. Let's move into our next step. So what I've got is in this panel here, and it spans the width of the page within 3/4 of an inch of the edge. But David's paint's cheap. It grows on walls, as I understand. So that's how it works. Am I right? Term starving artist comes from somewhere. Hans Hofmann of the Hofmann School in the 1930s or 40s, 50s, apparently 50s, I think. In his first graduating class were the parents of Robert De Niro. Anyways, whose real name is Robert De Niro Jr., by the way. So anyhow, Hans Hofmann. Let's just use... let's stick with this gold. We're going to use this. I'm going to draw out the gold. Should show up. Yeah. Hans Hofmann had students painting his house, and he would have them paint this wall this specific red, or this chair this specific yellow, and this specific blue. And because he was an eccentric and an art teacher, not to say that all art teachers are like this, he had his students do the job for him and paint he and his wife's house, and he had him use oils to do it. So that's fun. Is that showing up? I don't think it is. I have an answer for you. Bubbles in your pipe. Smoke it Muppet style. There's not that. I gotta shake my hand around. Yay! I like the ones covered in the those ones I do. Okay, so I'm just going to, hopefully it's going to pick up okay, or I'll adjust the colors again just so we can get this to show up a little bit more. But I'm quickly quickly putting in one of these two characters that's going to be in the conversation, and then I'll start building up. Yeah, that's a good advice. I gotta smoke my pipe the right way in order to get the bubbles out of it. But I'm always waiting for the bubbles, and they never seem to come. It'll be on my my tombstone. Say he's still waiting for the bubbles. Anyways, Hans Hofmann had his students paint his house in tubes of oil paint. So when you think about that, if you've ever bought tubes of paint, and imagine what it would take to paint large pieces of furniture, right? Man, yeah, that would be something else. So I'm just drawing. We're doing an over the shoulder of this guy, and so I'm just throwing in basic shapes, basic areas. I'm not too concerned about it. Because we're gonna build on it. But I just wanted our guy who's in the foreground closer to us to look like he's not entirely paying attention to the other one. So looking for the lid that I have in my hand. All right, so now I'm gonna put in. I'm just gonna come in and throw some light values in here. And we'll just add little hits of color and value. And you can't really blend these paint markers unless you're using a brush and watering them down. If that's the case, I'm just going to paint with a watercolor or an acrylic. So, one of my favorite movies is What Dreams May Come. Heaven starts out like you're in a painting. Always live your life like the bubbles are around the corner. Never lose the wonder. That's so true. That's so true. So I'm just going to put in these large areas, these large shapes. And as I put more of these colors on top, it should lighten it up. But I'm just working on the planes of the face. I'm building up his face that way. So hopefully you're going to start seeing his face come through there. I'm very wise. I should get my own Sunday morning cartoon strip. I'm game if you want. If you want to write it, let's see if we can get it syndicated, huh? That's a very trendy thing these days. All the newspapers, newspapers, everybody reads them. So hopefully you can tell in the image that I'm looking for, when I talk about planes, I'm talking, so if you look at your face and you look at your face in the mirror, you're going to see a flat image. But when you use your hands and you realize that this plane on your face has this direction to it, and then as you allow your hand to very gently touch your face, I know this is odd, but bear with me. You'll start to understand all these directional movements on your face, so that if you break it down into geometrics when you're drawing, it'll look like a bunch of angular planes. So when I'm drawing people, what I'm looking for is the way that these parts of the face move in relationship with one another, and that's how they move like this, right? They like how my mother dances, and in understanding that, and understanding how these work together with each other, you'll start to have your people look a little more realistic, a little more identifiable. Who's this guy? Robert says that's how he eats his fish and chips. It's true. It's true. I've seen it. It's a very greasy endeavor. So I'm going to try something new. Let's see how this is going to work. Is it going to be too opaque? Do I need to come in as lighter washes with I think I might. I think it's too much. So maybe what we'll do is we'll build up the face like this, and then similar to how when you're working with a larger composition with like oil or something like that, you can do the entire thing with just an umber in white and black, right? And then you can come in and very lightly glaze different additional tones onto your image, and so you're not painting necessarily in color, but you're applying color into the painting. So I tend to mix it on the fly, but But that's another way that works. So but he's starting to look like a thing. What do you call him? A human. He's starting to look like a human. Yeah. Excuse me. Let's make sure I'm not missing stuff here, folks. There we go. Just making sure that I'm keeping up with the chat. I apologize if I lag at times, but you know, I'm an excellent swimmer. Trying different trying to put some different blends of color and stuff like that in here and see if I can get a flesh tone to start developing out of it, rather than just using a flesh tone paint marker, which I have, which would make really short work of this. It's not as interesting. And as with all things, it's usually about me trying to push something, trying to learn something new. Yeah, it's starting to come together. Starting to get a face. Starting to get a face out of this. Vermilion is a really great color. This isn't vermilion, it's just like a standard blended orange, but vermilion's more of a red orange, and it's a really great paint to use with a white in order to pull out a flesh tone, a Caucasian flesh tone. So, you know, let's try to put some access points in here with where are you? Yeah. So this is a green that I'm putting in here right now. This is a really kind of a gaudy way to work up a flesh tone, but you know, we're getting there. This is step by step by step. I believe it was New Kids on the Block that said step by step. That's what it takes to get you, girl. I'm just playing with the settings. Try to hopefully pull in on that a little bit. Let's pull this one down. Down, down, down. And move it over, over, over. It's looking like Drax. Yeah, it kind of is. It kind of is. Whoops. Let's drop my... Let's put... again, I said this earlier today, and I'll say it again. I have a problem with my brown paint marker. It is what we call in the old country disagreeable, and you know, so I got to apply it in with brush. But it helps to give some form to the face. hopefully you're gonna be able to start seeing our guy now coming through in the image. I think hopefully it'll be a little clear. Jen says he's looking like Drax. He's looking like he's in drag. What? That's right, folks. I'm full of the yolks. Yeah. So this isn't anybody particularly. This is just putting together a face of somebody who's distracted. Well, I hope everybody had a nice Valentine's Day. You know, I said this earlier today, I'll say it again. It's not about all the palaver. It's not about the corporate holiday. It's about making sure you recognize love. And if that means somebody else, great. If it means a pet or kids, whatever, great. If it means you're remembering to care about yourself. Sometimes we need to remind ourselves to care about ourselves a little bit. Feels like it's if this was a little more angry, the color application here would be like a Kevin or what's his face? Bacon, Francis Bacon. Hiya, Penny. Welcome aboard. Guardians of the Galaxy Drax. Hiya, Penny. How you doing? Okay, so I got some green in spots here. Let's put some red in areas there. This seems a little overpowering. And then now I'm going to come in with this orange blended out. Is that giving me much? No. There we go. So hopefully, by doing this, and then it's going to unify things a little bit. And that the values won't all be so separated. Alright, it's feeling better. What do we got? Hi, Jen. Drax was that still, you'd never see him. Oh my goodness, because he's so stealthy. If I hold still, I'm invisible. I gotta tell you, the James Gunn Guardian movies are the high point of all the Marvel films to me. They're really fun. Really a lot of fun, those films. That or Morbius, said no one. So yeah, so thank you everybody. 300 followers today. That's super crazy to me. This time last year, 26. So, wow. You know,
I want to keep it fresh and interesting for folks. There we go. We're getting something out of him now. I love Chris Pratt, but those are just fun movies for sure. Yeah, he's pretty good in them. But it's such an ensemble piece that, you know, as great as Chris Pratt is, that film is entirely dependent on everybody but him. He plays the Gestalt. He plays the guy that we identify everything through, right? And I'm watching that. I'm watching, you know, Drax tell Mantis that she's ugly, and Groot saying incredibly complex things that, you know, come out as 3 words, you know, but everybody seems to understand the deeper meaning of them, the deeper resonating ideas. Okay. Well, if this does an example that you can use a basic amount of colors and get a lot of other stuff out of it, I don't know what will. Missing stuff? Yep, Jen says, great fun. One of my favorite moments in all of the Guardians films is where Yondu, the guy with the mohawk, who whistles and his arrow whips around, is where, you know, Chris Pratt's character says, you look kind of like Mary Poppins. And Yondu says, is he cool? He says, yeah, he's cool. And he shouts, hey, check it out, y'all, I'm Mary Poppins. So childish. It's like, I guess the easiest way to describe it is that Chris Pratt went to outer space when he was like 10 or 11 and he never matured. He literally never matured from that kind of behavior, that kind of humor level. So as fun as this is, I've sort of set myself up to have to paint this whole area of the image. So I love the Christmas special with Kevin Bacon. You know, I've never seen the Christmas special, and I'm kicking myself about it because it ties in a really tight point in between the second and third films, and I'm gonna have to watch that. I won't. I don't have Disney Channel. Why? Raisins. Smoke is bad for your health. Stench your growth. Take it from me. I smoked for 27 years, and look where it got me. Sort of using these like they're watercolor pencils. It's really nice all you guys popping in and saying hi tonight. Good bunch of folks. There's a lot of really cool artists that have been popping in here. Really appreciate that, as well as everybody else. But if you get a chance, check out other people's YouTube pages and see what they're up to. Some of these artists are doing, and I like it, but it needs more blue, you know. things like that help the artsy people out. I know. Yeah. Jen says, "What? You're on a China episode? What are you, crazy, Cross?" I'm not. Looking a little bit like an elf here. Let's get a little bit of shape on that ear. Okay, don't want no elves on that picture. Kevin Bacon sings in it. Oh my goodness, I don't know if I'm prepared for that. It's just like I'm not prepared, you know, for Christopher Walken to play the Emperor Shattered the Fourth in Dune. Bring me the head, this Muad'Dib. Terrible. Yeah, Fremen. Oh, ugh. Muggy, 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 muggy. Okay, so, come on, you silly marker. So what I'll do, a lot of the time, is that rather than using black, I'll build up blue and brown combinations and make a deep charcoal kind of a value instead. Have you seen Kevin sings Painted Black? Makes, oh my god. No, I haven't. Oh my goodness. Well, I guess everybody is somehow just a couple of steps away from Kevin Bacon being involved in something anyway, so. So I'm just finding little accent points to there we go. We got this crazy kid coming in here now. Boom. So what do we got? Well, I'm off. Have fun, y'all. Have a good night. Robert, thanks for popping in. Penny says, good night, everyone. I'm going to go spend some time with my honey. Whoa, now. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Thanks for those that have been stopping in, and appreciate that. I hope everybody's having a nice time for their Wednesday evening. I believe it's a Wednesday. It's been a really busy week. And it's only Wednesday. Okay, so yeah, that's coming together. I'm feeling better about some of the values here in this face. It's going to come in with a couple more hits of tone, and then let's give him a little more life in here. Yeah. Yeah. That's the dig it. Now he's looking like Peyton Manning. Oh, well, there we go. Maybe they're talking about football. Or maybe he'd rather be talking. Maybe they're watching the Super Bowl. This guy's talking about bees. You know the average human head weighs 8 pounds? That's great, buddy. What down is it? Right? And those guys. Also known as me. All right. Well, let's chop some space around his head and get into figuring out the rest of this environment here. All right, there he is. That came together okay. So, yeah. So the basic gist of things is that I was considering that having one person sitting over here who's clearly, you know, hey, did you know this? And then the other guy's more ambivalent about what he has to say, but. What color is the pink looking one? No pink. This is yellow. Oh, I'm sorry. This is orange, yellow, red, blue, light blue, brown, and white. That is the range of colors that I've been using. No pink. It's building up these different tones, and I'll hold it up, in order to make a whole lot more complex colors in the face. Guy's got great ears, says Linda. He heard that. I don't know how I'm even allowed out of the house. Anyways. Okay, so what time are we at? 10:52. A few more minutes here. So okay, so we've got this. I'll put a white outline on this panel with the bees just to clearly separate it. From the panel that we're working on now. Right? And then the top of this panel moves across here, moves across there. Okay. to help to clarify for the folks back home. All right, so here's the shape of these panels. Let me zoom out. Yes, dear. Yes, indeedly do. Here we go. Oh, you know what? It's a slider bar. No, still have to do this, but I thought I could just slide it out. Okay, so here is... Oh, never mind. Okay. Well, so here is the breakdowns on the overall page shot. Pull in. Yeah, there's a better camera view. So here is the top half of this page now, and then the bottom half of the page has space for 2 more panels. And so the intention I was zoomed in. Okay, so I'll just zoom back in on this. Yeah, well, let me do it. Grumpy. There we go. Zoom, and then I'll zoom back out for this again for this. So here's this page layout right now so far. Now, the debate, of course, for me is going to be when I'm scanning this into the computer and taking a look at how I can apply this through cleaning it up digitally. Like, do I omit this area behind out of the composition and just beef up these areas here, so that would beef up these areas here if it was just a flat white behind it. But I kind of like this. And Jen says, I was zoomed in. I was intently watching. Thanks so much. And then, so cut out the frames from the background is one option that I would have. But while finishing the frames, the material within these frames of reference, and the little image here, so I'm going to have these two guys talking, and so because the whole thing is going to be painted across, this panel, and then if I take a black border or a strong clean white border and cut that shape around the outside edge of this frame of reference, circular here, right, a horizontal rectangle here, and conversely the next two down below, that should pull it up off of the background, whether it was white for that border, the borderline, or if it's black. So if you look at, if you take into consideration some of the things that I've been posting on Instagram the last few days, there's one page that I did is this a color base of blue, but the text and a border divider in the center of the page is the complementary of blue. It's a nice orange. And what that does by putting the text on little boxes that are colored orange is it raises the text off of the images. And so it separates the two rather nicely, because it takes you don't want to lose the text within the images, but at the same time you want the images to stand out. So by doing that push and pull of color in relationship to one another, it can add to the overall page, because it differentiates these frames of reference, these panels as they're called, that we want to draw the reader's attention to give them the visual elements of the story, and then we don't want to distract from them too much with the textual elements of the story, the composition part. So, Bronco colors. Bronco. I love it. Bronco colors. I've never heard that before. That's really great. So with that, so when I'm finishing this page, when I'm scanning this page and putting it in, I think that a nice black line will be crisp enough to pull one away from the other. And then that way, I look like I know what I'm doing. So I've been wondering why I'm having a hard time myself, because I wear bifocals, and I'm like, why are my eyes wigging out right now? It's because I'm wearing my driving glasses. So that was not helpful. Which means my reading glasses, my computer glasses are upstairs. That's all right. Jen, Bronco Colors, I live in Colorado. That applies then. What do I say for living in Ontario? Those are colors, eh? You know, I don't know what term I would use. Ontario's pretty dull, you know, by comparison to other places that have more exotic characteristics or more clearly defined characteristics. Ontario is just like the hodgepodge of Canada. Okay, so so the other guy I'm going to draw in the background, it's going to be the sort of building up of layers again, and it's going to be harder to see, but you know, for the first little while. But just to let you know, the first, let me break it down on this piece of paper. So the remainder of the page, I'll use this in order to explain if this is the overall shape of the page. Pay no attention to the little smudge. Okay, so if this is the overall shape of this page, we've already got the Mickey Mouse situation, I believe is what Robert called it, right here. And these two panels overlay on this panel, and then this panel overlays onto this one. And then my thinking for the bottom two panels is to have a little open, this is called a gutter, a space in between panels. And I've got this panel indented a little bit from the outside edge. And then beneath that, I would bring out the bottom panel back to the same width as this one and have that underneath this panel. It's kind of like a mouse guy, isn't it? Anyways, so in this panel here, we've already got our guy here who's like, hey, what's up? Who likes potatoes? And then there's his outfit and there's his ear. Okay. And then over here, I'm going to have his friend who's got his hands up as though he's like, hey, man, you know, like, oh, hold on. Hey, you know, like, you know, these are bees and that's the moon, right? The moon's made of bees. Did you know that? And so he's this guy over here talking nonsense. And to his friend who's, you know, I can even have a thought bubble on this guy saying, man, when is he going to stop talking about bees? Maybe you're not writing next story Disney can buy. Maybe not. They just steal it from me because it's easier for them to do that than to worry about paying little random people in London, Ontario, Canada. Okay, so it's talking about bees, and then there'll be another panel here where he's, you know, I'll have him, I don't know, maybe he's pointing forward, and as he's doing so, this thumb up, I'm going to have his eyes looking this way as a bee is moving by into the image. Or maybe I'll have the bee moving like so. So it moves in and down. And so his eyes are tracking the bee as he's going, dude, I'm telling you. And I'll have him looking at the bee. And then the punchline. And maybe I don't necessarily want to draw you the punchline out. So there is the breakdowns for the remains of the page, short of the punchline. But it's going to involve, oh my God, there's a bee in the room. And then I think what I'll do overall is I will have this value, the green value, float in behind panels like so. So there's the breakdown on the page. And then that allows me to put the text, up here across the top, or I can have the text move down in here, or I can focus on the dialogue moving through the text like so, and then cutting over to here, and then down to Mr. Bozo, whose great hypothesis is that the moon is made of bees. So, when looking at the page, and as we develop the page and build it up as we go along, because I tend to fly by the seat of my pants when I'm working on these things, a lot of the idea about where the story is going and stuff sort of kicks in as I'm working on it. So it's not the way other people work. Other people like to plot things out in advance. That's great. Some people like full script and fully laid out breakdowns that they've worked up a couple of different versions of in order to find the right mix. Everybody works in their own way, and there's great valid points to each of them. And it's just about finding a comfortable method that works for you. There's a great deal to be said about breaking down thumbnails like this before people work. I'm sort of doing this to let you in on it for the most part, because a lot of that is going on inside my noggin as I'm working. But at the same time, a lot of it is, I think I'll draw this panel a circle. And making these arbitrary snap judgments as you go to keep it loose and fluid for me. I'm not a person that can write a script and then draw that written script. It works really wonderfully for other people. Gary Hodges, who I know was in the stream here earlier on, he writes a very detailed script and he sticks to it, and it shows because he has fantastically detailed conversations and really well thought out panels. And so that process is working for Gary. And if you get a chance, check out Gary's work. He does a book called DVSM, and it involves Martians and dinosaurs and conspiracies, Men in Black. It's really good. Check it out if you can. DVSM, it's called. Look it up online. But yeah, there's different working methods for others. The old school Marvel method was here's an idea, and the artist would go home and structure out. Here's the synoptic plot of a book. The artist would go home and draw out the whole book. And we're talking about caliber artists in the early days of Marvel, like Buscema, Kubert, Kirby, of course, Ditko, of course. Really, really great guys. I'm missing names, and I apologize to some of that golden age of Marvel, but these guys would put it together like that. Then you've got, other instances where you've got fully developed scripts, and they're given to the artist. That these are the things that need to happen in the panels, and here's the fully, rounded out script. And then the artist goes, sits down and envisions the structure of the whole thing. But this method works for me, right? So I hope you're having fun. I've been having fun. I appreciate everybody coming out. Let me catch up on the stream. Oh no, oops, no. Maybe you're right next door, Disney. It's going to be great. Thank you very much, Jen. All art is differently applied. Yeah, that's for sure. That's absolutely for sure. It's you have to find whatever's comfortable for you. And if you can do so and find yourself moving into that flow, then you'll find once you get those processes established, it's going to make whatever you're applying those to much easier to do. You're going to find that sort of super flow is going to allow you to sit down and to just get right into the work and just go into the process. And whether that process involves X amount of steps, very few steps, a lot of detailed steps, whatever it is, but it'll be yours, and it'll make everything go swimmingly. Okay, I think I'm going to sign off. I got a couple of things I got to wrap up before I head off to try to head off to Slumberland and wake up, of course, at 6 a.m. in the morning and get back to work again. So, thank you very much, everybody, for coming and hanging out. I really appreciate the patience and understanding that everybody has had as I've been trying to figure out some of these technical issues I've been having for weeks now. And I think it's all sorted out now. I've got everything operating at 1080p. I got the cameras figured out and the lighting figured out better now. So I appreciate everybody's patience and understanding as we're working through that. That's about it for me. Jen says, good night, blessings. Congrats again on 300. Thank you very much. I appreciate that immensely. I appreciate everybody that's subscribed. And if you know anybody that might enjoy what we're doing here, let them know. The more the merrier. Anybody that has one-page story ideas or 3-word prompts you want to throw them at me or anything like that, don't put it in the chat because we're about to wrap out. But feel free to put it in the comments for the video or put it in the comments on any of the social media posts on Instagram or Facebook. I show not just the finished pages, but the original art that goes into putting together those finished pages on my Patreon. And all of this stuff's under my name, and all of this stuff's available in the feed underneath the videos if you're interested in checking any of those out. But it's a fun thing that we've been doing here so far, and I'm having a really great time taking these suggestions and these different word prompts and idea prompts and trying to investigate story through those. So thank you very much, everyone, and I hope you had a great Valentine's Day. I hope you had a great Ash Wednesday if you celebrate that way. That's it for me. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. EST at the regular old bat station. Bye for now. Thanks, everyone.